that, I'm not lifting that, no way. Look at that, no way. I'm not choking it again, no way.
All my walls are covered in words, and while you sleep, I mark my goals. Stand tall, think clear. Don't let them see a hint of fear. Lines and dots, zoom in, zoom out. Open your window, let them hear you shout. Right on the poles, right on the street. Always remember the future is near. Cut some cords, scratch some scars. Put on your cape and jump from the car. Open your mouth, take a deep breath. Run fast and don't stop at the edge. You can be anything you want. You can be everything you choose. Do not let it slip away. 'Cause if you never try it, you never know. You can be anything you want. You can be everything you choose. Do not let it slip away. 'Cause if you never try it, you never know.
I'm just glad that we're getting this dry spell. We're not normally as far ahead as this. We're maybe start maybe third week in May. But that'll be, once you're by a day, that'll be what, 1,000 acre we've done already.
How long is it going?
This is only our fourth farm, so we've only a week really.
Yes.
Aye, it's pretty crazy. But all my sort of first ones are all quite. First one will be about 230 acre. Second one was just 300. Yesterday was 200. Today's 150, 160. So there's quite 1,000 acre, but not far off it.
Well, you must have took up a bit of work since the last time I was talking to you.
Aye, every year somebody keeps giving up. We're another probably roughly 1,500 acre again for this year. So
Yes.
maybe lost one. He's bought a wagon. He's doing it himself. Every time we lose some, we seem to end up gaining far more than what we lose. So pretty good. As long as the sun keeps shining, we'll get through it. But if we get a wet spell, it'll not be so easy to try to get through it all.
Well, what's the season been like so far, weather-wise?
Weather-wise, been pretty good, but problem-wise, it's not been so good.
Why?
Every single day since, well, Friday morning last week, we were got to do a wee bit of bailing on it. No, the rake never even made it to the field. A van came round the corner and drove right into the back wheel of the rake and bent all the back axle. So we got it recovered and sitting to the side. So ended up I got another rake off somebody else. Well, they came and did it for me. And the baler got started. I think about 2 bales and a rotor bearing went in the baler. So that was that day. Next day, Greg was rolling up at the next place for the chopper and the centre gearbox went, came for the 4-rotor rake. Obviously I've done a 2-rotor rake, so we went to Gordon's. They gave me a second-hand 4-rotor rake to keep me going. Another boy, he came with a 2-rotor rake, rode up 2 fields to keep me going before we got the 4-rotor rake. And then what happened after that? What was the next problem?
Can you tell me there's a couple of fires possibly in the days?
Aye, so I got the demonstrator forager yesterday, working away quite a thing, and I stopped to let the farmer, he was going to jump in, so we stopped and there was smoke belching out under the header. So we jumped out and there was a bit of game slack on the forager. And there was 2 bits of metal wearing together, so obviously just with the heat and the dry grass lying on top, it was on fire. So luckily enough, it was easy enough to put out and just sat the header off and knocked the grass out the road and just parked it up and went back to my own machine again. So just the centre bearing on my 435, that's goosed as well, so we're waiting on a new shaft coming for it. We're still kind of using it now, but
Yeah.
honestly, if there was something going to go wrong, it would go wrong with us today.
Well, the only thing is it can't really get any worse.
No. Good thing is we're still getting through it, so I've never had as for what we're doing really well, getting started, I've never had so many problems at the start of the season. But I suppose it's how you deal with it, isn't it? At the end of the day, as long as you
What were you saying about things going wrong there?
That's what I'm saying. What was that all
How
about?
do you manage that?
Unbelievable.
Is this man experienced, or where do you get them? Like?
Oh man. Honestly.
Well, after watching that there, is drivers a thing you struggle with, or what's the story?
No, to be honest with you, we're actually really good for drivers. I seem to have quite a good bunch of boys, and there's always plenty of guys willing to help. I mean, Bob there, he's an electrician, so he came out today, and actually out Saturday, Sunday. He came out yesterday afternoon, and then he came back out again today. So I've got another tractor about with another contractor. So it left me kind of short, so it did. Yeah, this stuff is really sticky. I'll not even let you reverse it.
Oh, you can't even reverse it?
No, that's an absolute nightmare. Just wraps in the feed rollers, and then it'll not reverse it.
You don't know you're not allowed to say things like that. You can't say you've never blogged it, because this is the day that it will blog.
No,
I'm not giving you enough to open this.
You can't block a crone. You can't do it. You can't choke it.
Well, I think you're going to give it a good go here. Was this grass tedded? No?
No, this stuff's not been tedded, thankfully. Everything else I've been at has been tedded. But the sugars have been right high this year.
Yeah.
Once the sun's in its back, it's absolutely fine. But see, until the sun's on it, it's an absolute nightmare. An absolute nightmare.
Well, what season's this harvester on now?
This is its 5th season, so this is its final season, so it is. There's a new forager ordered for next year. Just going for the same again.
Yep.
I don't see the point in going any bigger.
You didn't think with the extra work you would need bigger, no?
No, the biggest problem for us is the pits. So me going for a higher horsepower forager would be great to get through more work, but the pits, those do not allow me to shove any more grass into them. Like, it'd be different if I could run the 2 shovels. We had to demonstrate a shovel yesterday, and it made a massive difference, but there's very few pits that we can run 2 loading shovels on, so I just need to try and, I don't know the best way to do it, to be honest with you. Need to come up with something.
A loading shovel on the buck rake would be a pretty rare thing up here, and you're talking about running 2.
Yeah, I was always kind of against it. I thought 1435 and a tractor rolling for you would be ideal, and that's the best way to work it. But to be honest, after the way it worked yesterday, I would say I'm wrong. And I think having the 435 and a 419 to complement it, still a heavy machine, but just that bit smaller.
Yes.
I think it would actually work really well, but it's just whether we can justify the other shovel. But it's the only way I'm going to get through any more work. I can't shove it into my cousin any faster than what we already do, so he does need a hand to be able to do that. So that's the way it's going to need to be. If we can justify it, and I think it's going to work, I think there will be another shovel comes to work alongside them. I've got the guys there to do it, like Andrew, young Andrew there, he's quite happy to drive the other shovel, and it frees up. His tractor's quite often on a set of mowers anyway, so it would free up his tractor for mowers. I don't know, it's all changes.
It's quite easy going. He's laid back ways. I get away with a lot. Quite a free roll I get here. Like, I've lamb a lot of sheep and have cattle mowing, so just kind of do a bit of freelance back and forward with him. Full time this summer, main job's buck raking. Same with the slurry, I'll just come drive a tanker when he needs me and then work between him and home. 200 sheep and have 25 sucklers, buy some stores in, own 50 acre of my own land, rent another 100 on top of that. To cut a bit extra, take in some of my winterers for Uncle Jake. We're a bit of rent, there's spare space, so do that as well. Like, so just between the two of them it works fairly good and even like, so that'll be 7 years I think I've been with him now, 7 or 8 years. Started in the pipeline with him, and then we worked together at a contractor as well as that, and then obviously he moved into his own business getting a forager, so I moved with him and started off, and he took on a run, so that's how it all started like. So you couldn't have done it without taking on a run. You couldn't have done it that way, because the only way to do it to try and make acreage would be cut the rates back, and there's just, you'd be as well sitting in the pub than going and cutting the rates to go and do that, I would say anyway. It's challenging, I would say, so it is. This pit, it's one of the weeest ones we do, but we've just got to squeeze it in between the two of them, then second cut goes another pit. But we've got a drain here in the middle, we've got a couple of bales of straw in it, so we've got it to work round about the day. We've got a 435 here in the pit today, and we have a case butt rake. He just does mainly rolling, so he does. We could do with a compactor, but we've never had the chance of getting one yet. So hopefully in the future we'll get one. Or we had 2 shovels going yesterday. That made a fair difference, like bit overkill, but it was good. It made the job a lot easier again. Well, the 435's been really good, and it hasn't given us any problems. But on Saturday, I just felt like I'd feel a wee niggle, but I couldn't put my finger on where it was coming from. And then on Sunday, a noise kind of appeared, and turns out there was a bearing going. So I phoned Hamilton Brothers and said, look, we've got a bearing going. They couldn't get us a part. This was Sunday, so they couldn't get us a part to the Monday. All good to them. They went out, got another shovel for us, brought it out, sat it at the next farm we were going to. We only had 10 acres left to lift, and we got it finished up. It was still running. It's still running 2 days later here. It's not doing any damage at the moment, so if we can get the day byway, we'll get her sorted tomorrow. Can't ask for much better service than that with Hamilton Brothers. It gave us something to work with, and we would never have any downtime. Another local contractor to us, they had a wee oil leak, and they've got 2 choppers out the day, so they were needing a shovel, so we've gave it to them the day, like, because it's only fair. We've still got a running one, so you can't keep the 2 of them there. If somebody else is getting broken down, if it was the other way about, you would hope they would do that for you. So.
Well, how did the contract come to be to start with? Like, you didn't come from a farmer originally, did you?
My family's all farmers. My uncle Jim, he still farms. He's a butcher as well. We've got 2 farms. My uncle Matthew, he was a contractor. My grandpa was farming. He's passed away now. My grandpa's away now. So I'm from, my cousin as well there, and his dad, and they were all farmers. It's only really my uncle Jim that's left. My brother's farming now. So I did come for the farming, but my brother, he was always interested in the cattle side of it, and I was always interested in machinery. And I thought maybe someday I would take over from Uncle Matt, but that was obviously by a long time ago. The day rate at the time we needed money spent on it, and the contracting fleet we needed upgraded. I think just what was going to be involved in changing it all, it was just, they made the decision just to sell the farm, put the cows away, and sell the contracting. So that kind of scuppered, to be honest. I don't know how this came about. I was meant to take over the other business before, and I knew John Lamont was wanting to give up, and there was an option there to do it. And I think just over the years I've just kind of built myself up, and I just found myself in a position where I was able to go to the bank manager and get the funds sorted out for it. So, and it just worked. Every year as contractors gave up, but to be honest, I don't know whether, you wonder, are they giving up? They're giving up, and you think, why are they giving up? But yeah. I don't know whether they've done it for so long and they're just tired of it, and they're just saying that enough's enough. It's not easy. So, but you just got to put the prices up. If I don't put my prices up, I'll not be here.
Well, have you have a new farm and all bought too since the last time, do you?
Aye. So last time when you were here, I was just renting a yard, and there was a place came up for sale. It wasn't easy, to get the funds for it. The minute you go commercial, a commercial mortgage is an absolute nightmare to get. The residential's no bother. It's all sorted out within sort of 6 weeks. But Mary Hagan took 7 months to sort out, and for all we've got a good big business now, it was not easy to get the borrowings. I was just very fortunate. I had a house. I had a house in Kilmarnock that was nearly mortgage free. So by the time I sold that, that was where the deposit came from. But aye, that's cracking, but there's a lot of work to it. Where we were before, we've never really had a perfect workshop for working in.
What were you doing before? Were you renting a yard then, or?
I was renting a yard, so it was just really a couple of sheds and just some yard space. But they were good. They got you out of hole and let you work, but it wasn't ideal at all. Didn't have a proper workshop, and you see a simple thing like a vice, and you didn't have a vice to work on. A set of gas bottles, a welder. But that all changed. My new shed's up, so this winter we will have a proper workshop. I've too much stuff now, to be honest. I mean, just the amount of tractors and machinery we've got, trailers. They've got 30 different trailers now, between tankers, silage trailers, bale trailers, dump trailers, low loaders. So I'm putting a pit in just to try and make it a lot easier and working on stuff. It's no ideal lying outside in the ground all the time, the piss and rain. So you know what it's like in Scotland, it rains for 10 months of the year.
Surely it keeps the machinery clean.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Honestly, my boys spend some amount of time in that wash bay. It must be the most used thing in my yard, to be honest, the wash bay. That's muck. That's it choked?
Huh?
Is it choked?
I'm sure. You jinxed it.
You jinxed it?
No, you said it at the start. I've never blocked this. Like.
Well, I've choked it with muck now, so we have. I should have picked that pick up really. That's your fault, you were talking. We'll just blame you, right? Right.
That's her. Interview terminated.
Aye, I'm not used to getting dirty. I sit in here all day with my boots up.
What do you think I'm wearing pink?
Aye, we'll go and unchoke this thing then. Oh, I don't believe that.
A lot of folk, they say, how do you get into a place with a shovel? But I find with a shovel, when you're screwing around with the weight, it's far easier than a tractor. There's not as much pressure on the front linkage. But you've just got to work round about it, and there's no many pits nowadays you put silage into that are fit for what they're trying to put in anyway, so the day is one of the harder ones, but you've just got to do what you can. That's why there's 2 days here the day. Try and keep it rolled as best you can is the main thing, to get as much as you can, because when it starts getting steep, you don't want to be spinning out and the grass keeps coming in like. Probably when I come to something like this, I try and steal as much of the pit I can and leave enough space to try to get as much rolled so you're always going over it, because if you're putting it in as a straight, some days you have to put it in as a straight ramp, but I try and use as much of the pit as I can, still leave myself room for the ramp to come forward, and just try and get it rolled in as best as I can. You have to go with what the farmer wants at the end of the day, but I think rolling it's compaction's the biggest thing for getting them the right silage. That's why I'm always at Michael to keep the tractor there, even though he's not doing much, and you can never get the Buckley Caffey's tractor and he doesn't push any grass, but I would say that's the main bit, like you've got to get it rolled in, that's the main thing. He pushes very little, he'll tidy up my edges, so he does, because again, when I'm talking about a level pit, if he goes up and his butt rate's only half the width of me, I find he's been up one side, and then I go up, and my tyre goes up onto a high bit, and then it offsets me, and I just, in my head, I'm thinking, right, where am I going with the next load of grass? And I'm a wee bit OCD, so if somebody comes up and pits it in the wrong bit, but you're always keep remembering where you want your trailers to tip, because that's a big thing. If the trailer's on the tip in the right bit, it's double the work for you, because if you have to move it to build in your sides or where you're wanting to go, trailer's a big bit, and he just rolls away. Seems to keep him happy. He's not got a hard life anyway. He comes out and rolls a pit, and he thinks he's got a big job, so he does round there. And it keeps him happy, like, and then we drop him back off at night. But if you have a look at his tractor, you can tell by it with the amount of lights and horns and everything on it. And then, it's a good relief to his family us looking after him, so it is.
I'm Andrew Fairfoot. I've worked for Michael for 2.5 years now. I'm your kind of jack of all trades about the place. If somebody's off, I'll fill in for them, usually, if I'm not doing it already. Most of them call me Fairful or Andrew, just whatever suits, but no Andy, whatever they do. This season so far has been busy, to say the least. We got a start there a couple of weeks ago and everything goes fine, and then you've one wee problem and it just transpires for there. But I managed to work something out and get through it, like, so it's not too bad. The pits today aren't the easiest of pits to be working in. They're quite wee and not so much in the road to each other. We ken what we're doing, like, but you just have to keep your eyes on you all the time and try and fit it all in at the same time. Generally, I'll roll the pit most of the time and kind of tidy up the edges and stuff, add wee bits here and there, fill in the gaps kind of thing, and let the shovel do most of the pushing. That's generally how we work it. He can take the full load in one go, and it saves me having, it would take me 3 goes to shift a full load, so he's better doing the pushing, I do the filling in and stuff, and we work it that way. And then it's quite good today because we've got 2 pits, so we can split the trailers, and I'll take some round here and I'll just work myself for a wee while and keep the job going on, kind of thing, the main bit. Silage period for most folks busy. I would say I'm busy all year round with gritting and stuff, but the silage season I'll be easy 8 hours a week. Quite often it can be more, sometimes it's less if you get a wet week, but most of the silage season you'll be 8 hours average. And as you can see in the background here, I do like a can of Red Bull or 2. I might have a wee addiction going on there. That is all you need. Flat out all the time. Flat, constant, absolutely constant. That tractor never stops. Generally what happens when you come here, you get your own tractor and you're told that's your tractor and you're left on it. If you're going to a job, you've got it, and you kind of look after it. Mine's got a few extras on it, but it needs them for the night time work. But it's just to try and get the drivers to keep them good, and saves breakages a bit more because they're looking after the gear. If something goes wrong, it's only you it's to blame, really. Gives Michael an easy job.
Also, the boy in the butt right there, first load of the day, the farmers went a bit pushed up the side sheets, and he reversed back here and he caught his old mother's fence and he's half knocked it down. So, but the farmer's quite understanding. He should be fine with it. We'll come back and sort it later and nobody will notice. Put it this way, if you're doing all the work, then it's hard not to do all the breakages. Well, if you're not working, you're not going to break anything, but well, when you're as busy as I am, it's hard not to break something when you're trying to keep going on. But I know Michael's brand new to work for. Very decent. He'll no hold anything against you if you break something, then as long as you're fair with him and say that you broke it, it's fine. We'll get it sorted out. But the future, here maybe someday I would like to have my own place. But for now, I'll keep working the way I am, working with Michael, it works good. I couldn't go to any other contractor and be as flexible as I am, because it is a bit family. Sometimes if I just do need to put my foot down and say I can't come, he's kind of got to suck it up and take it. But the business, I think it will just keep growing. We'll just keep picking up work steadily as it comes, pick up the odd new machine, like what we're doing every year. Whether I'll still be here in 10 years or 20 years or how long I'll be at it, I don't know, that'll yet to be seen. I like working between my sheep, my cows and the farming side of it. It's a good mix. You don't get too fed up. It's always a different job most days. We're not interested at the moment, 2 harvesters and going nuts. We're happy keeping 1 squad, heavily busy, and still try to keep the boys happy. Because at the end of the day, as Michael does always say it as well, if your workers aren't happy and not getting home to the family and getting out maybe the odd weekend, like, you'll end up with nobody, or folk get sick, like, you get fed up quicker. So I think if we can keep busy with 1 chopper and expand a bit more everything else, I think that will keep us busy enough the way it is now anyway. Right, I'm going to have to cut this interview short because this boy round here, I've heard him pushing in 2 or 3 loads now himself, so I better go in here and sort this mess out. The crack we have in days at silage and stuff, even days at the slurry, just anything where there's a team involved, we've a great crack with each other. We all call each other silly names and just wind each other up about this and that and the next thing, and we keep everybody on their toes all the time. I'm usually the one that will instigate a slagging, and then Tinny will finish it off, and then they'll bite back, and then it just snowballs for there kind of thing. It is quite funny. You need it for the long hours. You couldn't do the job without having a laugh about it. Like, it would be no fun. Absolutely no fun. it makes him feel any better, I'll take the blame for it. It should be easy fixed anyway, I think. The farmer's understandable here, he'll be alright with it, I think.
Try again. Look at the state of me.
You've gone on about being clean too.
You couldn't write that.
Right, we'll try this again then.
Try. Right, wait till we see. Hopefully I bore it. Oh.
Well, there's grass flowing anyway. That's what you say, you've never blocked one of these?
That's the second time. That's the second time. Honestly, I've never, well, I'll tell you a lie. A trailer came too close one time and I pulled my chute in like that, and with dry grass it was hitting there and it backed up right down the chute.
Yes.
I choked the chute with grass, and that's the second time I've choked it with muck. And never. Because this thing, it cuts out at 1300 RPM, cuts the drive to the pickup reel and keeps the drum going. So it always clears itself. So it's physically impossible to choke it with grass.
Right.
But just when muck goes through that grass channel, like, I don't even know how grass goes through it, to be honest with you, let alone. There's no reason, I don't understand why muck doesn't want to go through it. But I think the machine's excellent. I was going to buy a bigger one, but I just think that this is a perfect size, to be honest. My biggest thing about feed rollers on this is the metal detector.
Yes.
The metal detector's right at the front, so you've damn near get double the distance with this compared to other models before it hits the drum. So it's a bigger protection for foreign objects, rock detector and whatnot. So.
Well then, what was the price difference in your new 580 compared to this when you bought her?
What do I think? So 102 grand.
Of difference?
102 grand dearer than what I paid for this.
For the exact same machine?
The exact same machine. The only difference, and this is its 5th season. Aye. So realistically in 4 years, they were up 25 grand a year. The class, it was a bigger jump. Again, than what this was, kind of the new Krone, so it just went mad.
But how do you justify that for the exact same machine? Like, is there any technology differences or even?
The only difference in the demonstrator that's going about the now is it's going to have autofill on it, so fill the trailers itself. I really liked it. See if you're answering the phone, like, quite often I'm on the phone and you're trying to text and you can't do it. So
you don't know you're not supposed to use your phone when you're driving.
But we're not on the public highway, so we're all right. So, aye, well, 100 grand. I mean, it's a lot of money. So, they talk about the cost of change. So I look at what I paid 217 grand for this when I bought it, 3-year warranty, so on, and. So the trade-in price for this machine, I think, was something along the lines of 165 grand. So my cost of ownership of this machine isn't that high. So the cost of change is high, but you're never really going to know your running costs of that next forager until you go to sell it.
Yes.
It's time to trade it in again. So that's when it's quite a hard thing to predict. So you've got to make sure with your price increases every year that you're allowing for the depreciation in your machine.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. I hear folks saying, oh, it cost me 100 grand to change or 50 grand to change, but you can't really compare it to what it costs to change. It's what that machine, what you paid for it and what you get for it at the end of it. That's your work, that's what that machine's cost you. You don't really know what the next machine's going to cost you until you go to trade it in. So like when I bought my first forager, 10% deposit. So realistically, I'm putting in nearly 50% deposit. It will be 50% deposit, and my payments are still the same.
Yeah. Well, what about this 1455? What notion did you take to buy her?
It's kind of childhood dream, to be honest with you. I don't know why. There's just something about a 1455 that I always liked, and I said I would buy one. And I wish, to be honest, I was in a position to buy it years ago, because I could have probably saved myself 20 grand. Because they are scary money now. And then, did you see my old Maxim?
No, I haven't seen her yet, no.
So I bought a 5150 Maxim Pro. It came to Ireland as well. That was my Uncle Matt when he was chopping silage, maybe about 27, 28 years ago. That was kind of one of the last tractors that they ran in their contracting fleet. It was a 5150 and a 5150 Pro. So that was more of a kind of sentimental thing. I wanted my Maxim, and then I've got my one limited edition Puma. That's the kind of fancy paintwork
Yes.
on it. So I'm going to keep the 1455, the Maxim, and my limited edition Puma. I'm going to run them. I'm going to build a shed for them, and that's my toy shed.
This contract must be paying alright.
No, so
You can't just say no after saying I'm going to build a shed for 3 tractors.
So the contracting looks after itself, but it doesn't keep itself going all winter. I obviously do my gritting, I've got a lorry, and I do construction work. Whenever a tractor on a construction job now for 7 months, 7 days a week, and then we do my gritting as well, and the wee lorry. All the things there is what helps to pay for all the stuff over and above. If I didn't have any of that, I probably wouldn't have what I've got just now. The construction keeps things going over the winter, and it saves me robbing money from the contracting side to pay all the boys in the winter.
Yes.
So that's what the gritting really does. It kind of keeps it just keeps things turning over. The amount of slurry storage that farmers have got now, you're not even really spreading slurry all winter either. So it is quite a quiet. The winter is getting quieter, to be honest. When you get a dry spell, there is a farmer will try and get a bit of slurry out, but if you're trying to keep 5 and 6 men going all winter, it isn't easy. So you need to have something else, 100%. It's not that you're trying to, the contracting can't pay for itself, it can, but all that extra work over the winter saves me robbing money from the contracting side
Yeah.
to keep all the boys going, which allows me to build sheds and upgrade machinery. Well, the machinery gets upgraded anyway, and you do that regardless. But everything the contracting makes, it all gets fully invested back into the contracting again. You're never finished on it. You think once you've got everything all bought and paid for, it'll take a year out and no bother. That doesn't work. Like Jim Watt says, like a merry-go-round, you can't come off it. Once you're on it, you need to keep going. And every year, we keep going, just keep getting a bit bigger and a bit bigger. I never really wanted to get any bigger. I'm quite happy doing what I'm doing, but you know what it's like. If a farmer phones you and you're available, it's hard to say no.
Run fast and don't stop at the edge. You can be anything you want. You can be everything you choose. Do not let it slip away. 'Cause if you never try it, you never know. You can be anything you want. You can be everything you choose. Do not let it slip away. 'Cause if you never try it, you never know. When I was a kid, my dad used to say, don't let anything stand in your way. Stand tall, think clear. Don't let them see your angel fear.